Surrogacy world. What does surrogacy mean? Surrogacy is an arrangement in which a woman carries and delivers a child for another couple or person, and the person who carries the baby is called a surrogate mother. And usually the surrogate mother receives compensation beyond the reimbursement of medical and other reasonable expenses. And this arrangement is called commercial surrogacy. In surrogacy world, what are the types of surrogacy? There are two types of surrogacy. The first type is traditional surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy involves artificially inseminating a surrogate mother with the intended father's sperm via IUI, IVF, or home insemination. With this method, the childbirth is genetically related to its father and the surrogate mother. The second type is gestational surrogacy. Gestational surrogacy is when IVF is used, either with the eggs of the intended mother or with donor eggs. The surrogate mother therefore does not use her own eggs and is genetically unrelated to the baby. It is physically more complicated and considerably more expensive than traditional surrogacy. Although many IPS can have some costs covered by the NHS and always takes place in a fertility clinic. So these are the types of surrogacy. Surrogacy is very popular and acceptable in Western countries, but yet there are some problems that might cause of surrogacy. Legal issue. I believe that surrogacy is an adultery, since the surrogate is carrying the fertilized egg of someone who's not her legal husband. The child produced, therefore, has no lineage through legal marriage and will have to be considered as illegitimate. Surrogate's change of heart. Sometimes a surrogate mother might change her mind and refuse to give up the child. However, in states where surrogacy is allowed, the biological mother usually does not win custody or visitation rights. So I believe that both the surrogate and the parents should sign a contract to prevent this from happening. Nonetheless, there is always the chance that the surrogate mother might win her case. Breach of contracts. Most surrogacy contracts state what the surrogate can and cannot do while pregnant. But in the end, we have to admit that she's not the original mother. Therefore, some problems can arise when a surrogate breaches the contract by smoking, abusing drugs, or drinking alcohol while pregnant, and this will affect the baby. Medical issues. In some cases, some diseases can arise while the surrogate mother is pregnant. Also, some medical complications which would harm the baby or the surrogate mother. So I believe that the surrogate mother shouldn't put herself at risk and should refuse to carry the baby. So why do we have to sell our lives for money? Ethical issues. Although some people and I view surrogacy as baby selling and look down on a woman who's a surrogate, in recent years surrogacy has become more of an accepted practice. Still, the ethical question remains as to whether a woman who is being paid for her surrogacy is exploiting infertile couples and entering the contract for money. Others see the infertile couple as exploiting the surrogate's body and taking advantage of a woman who needs money. Yet, despite the many ethical issues at stake, statistics show that there has been a rise in numbers of women who act as surrogates. In 2006, the Society for Assisted Reproductive Technology estimated about 260 surrogate births. However, the number of surrogacies each year is likely to be more, as many fertility clinics do not report to start. There are also some couples who enter private agreements with a surrogate in which agencies are not involved. Yet there are some advantages of surrogacy. But the only advantage that makes sense to me is that when fertile couples want to have their biological baby, so they can think of surrogacy. Finally, I would like to say that still there are some advantages of surrogacy. For instance, if there is no chance for any mom to get pregnant, she can think of making this. But still, I believe that the disadvantages are much more than the advantages. But still, it depends on the parents themselves.